Okay, what's going on, everyone? And yeah, today I have yet another Hori arcade stick to show you, kind of give you a bit of a review on. And this one is the Hori Real Arcade Pro 4. You can see the box for it. Here's the actual stick itself. And yeah, this one can be used on the PS3 and PS4, both systems. You can switch between them via a toggle switch here. Various other features such as turbo button functionality. And like many other joysticks, you know, it's plug and play USB on a PC. But yeah, in addition to the already super nice features of being able to use it on the PS3, PS4, and PC, another thing that I thought was actually really cool about it, incredibly nice, you can use it on Mac OS X. Just plug and play flawlessly on any Mac computer. So I've got it on my, hooked up right now to my Mac Mini 2011 older model. And yeah, like I said, really nice because I use that for my main MAME setup, the MAME OS X, as you can see here. Got a fantastic shooter from Toplan running on it. This one is Outzone. Definitely check it out. Toplan shooters, all of them are just fantastic. But yeah, here's another look at it. Absolutely beautiful black, gray, white coloration to it. And in my previous video, actually, yeah, just the last video I posted, I did a little review on this Hori Real Arcade Pro VX SE for the Xbox 360. Works on the PC as well, so check that out if you haven't. And yeah, this Real Arcade Pro 4, basically in terms of its size, dimensions, footprint, weight, it's almost identical to this. The main difference between the two are the actual components, the parts, most importantly, used in both of them, which I'll get to. So, yeah, this one, obviously, SE model uses the Seimitsu LS32 joystick, Seimitsu PS-14G push buttons, very much established staples in the arcade parts industry, two of my favorites. And this one, interestingly enough, this uses Hori's own joystick and buttons that they created themselves. Now, many of you, you're probably quite familiar with the fact that back in early 2014, yeah, Hori actually decided to enter into the Japanese arcade parts market. And yeah, in doing so, they wanted to kind of offer up a little bit of competition to the sort of more so long-established dominant forces in the Japanese arcade parts market, obviously those being Sanwa and Seimitsu. So they kind of unveiled their Hori Hayabusa joystick, which is what you see right here, and the Kuro push buttons. As you can see, they're black, and actually Kuro in Japanese means black, so quite appropriately named. But yeah, really cool that these buttons and joystick come stock on the Real Arcade Pro 4, because these the Hayabusa and the Kuro buttons are exactly what you'll find on the newer HD widescreen monitor Taito Vuelix cabinets in Japanese game centers. So yeah, these are the exact parts used in those arcade cabs. Okay, so I'll get to my opinion on the Kuro buttons, but first of all, wanted to talk a little bit about the Hayabusa stick and my overall impressions and opinion of it. Is it a high quality product? Yeah, it is. I really like it a lot. And you can kind of see it in action and hear it. First of all, I suppose if you want to learn a little bit about the differences between Sanwa and Seimitsu arcade parts, push buttons, and joysticks, go back and watch the video directly previous to this one that I put up on the Hori RAP VX SE. I talk a lot about Sanwa and Seimitsu in there. And yeah, this stick, you know, it's a LS32. I mentioned in that video that I tend to overall more so prefer the Seimitsu LS style joysticks, whether it be LS32, 40, or 56. The main reasoning for that, behind that, just due to the kind of tight nature of the joystick. Feels very precise, has a tighter spring than like a Sanwa JLF, and definitely a smaller engage area and a shorter throw distance. And I kind of talk about what those terms actually mean in that video too, if you want to kind of learn about those in case you don't know. Go back and watch that video. But yeah, as for the Hori Hayabusa, you hear a lot of kind of differing opinions in terms of, well, is it more similar to a Seimitsu style stick, or a Sanwa stick? And really, the best answer is it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of similar to both. But my overall feeling on it, after having used it a little bit, is that it's much more so similar to a Sanwa JLF style stick. And the main reasoning behind that is the engage and throw and the spring. Like, for instance, just the engage area is a little bit larger than a Seimitsu. The amount of time it takes to actually engage the micro switch and the distance for the stick to travel over and hit the restrictor plate, the throw. They're much larger on this Hayabusa than they are on this Seimitsu LS32. So those are qualities that are very similar to a Sanwa JLF stick. What else can I mention? I mean, I guess just pretty standard stuff with all Seimitsu LS sticks, Sanwa JLF sticks. The Hayabusa also has a square gate. It's an 8-way joystick on a square gate. You can see it running against the restrictor plate in there. Same exact thing with this one. And yeah, like I said, I tend to prefer Seimitsu for the tighter, precise feeling when I'm playing shmups. Sanwa mini Street Fighter fighting game fans appreciate the JLF more, and the Hayabusa is a much more so similar stick to the JLF rather. I think maybe it's actually a little bit more smooth the way it glides. It's quite a high quality product. I enjoy it a lot. I have been using it mainly on MAME with my shoot 'em up games, and although I do tend to prefer the Seimitsu LS sticks for shooters, I've had no problems just adapting right away to this Hayabusa, playing all the various vertical and horizontal shmups that I have on MAME OS X. So couldn't be more pleased with this product. Really high quality stick. So yeah, not to ramble on too much, but my overall impression, a great, fantastic quality stick, and it's quite a bit more similar to a Sanwa JLF joystick in terms of the joystick spring and the engage and throw on the Hayabusa. Much more similar to a Sanwa JLF than it is to a Seimitsu LS style joystick, which has a little smaller engage area, a shorter throw, a tighter spring. Okay, so as for the Kuro buttons, again, you'll hear a lot of different things about them. I have heard from a couple of people that, and they actually who own this exact joystick, this panel and everything, that upon purchasing this product, the Kuro buttons were a little bit squeaky, kind of around the edges maybe in some cases. I can tell you that so far, at least for me, right out of the box, I've had no problem with them. They work great and fantastic, as you can see in here. No kind of bad noises. Work pretty fantastically. And yeah, other people, you know, I guess have had the same experience that I've had. I've heard them just say great things about these buttons in this stick. I know some people, I think my friend, my good buddy K2 installed a Hayabusa stick and Kuro buttons on his, one of his Sega Astro City candy cabinets, and yeah, he really liked the Hayabusa stick, but at least in his panel initially upon installing these buttons, the Kuros, they were making kind of a nasty squeaky noise that I'm not really getting. So I don't know if it's perhaps on some panels they just kind of like some panels more than others, and on some panels they maybe take a little bit more time to kind of get worn in and adjusted to that. I'm not sure. So like I said, I know some people have had some issues with them, and a lot of people really like them. So I guess it depends on what kind of panel maybe you've got them in, but at least on this stick, you know, they sound really great and not having any problems. Again, I'll compare them to, I guess we can compare them to Sanwa OBSF buttons and Seimitsu PS-14 type push buttons. These are PS-14Gs over here. And again, I think these are more similar, the Kuros are much more similar to a Sanwa product. Typically the Seimitsu PS-14 style push buttons require a little bit more force to push down and activate. There's a bit more resistance in there, and I really like that. For those of you who play Neo Geo Candy Cabs, you know what I mean. Pretty much those buttons are standard on all of those, and a lot of my super guns as well. Yeah, the Kuro buttons, they really feel much more so similar to like a Sanwa OBSF button, in my opinion, rather than a Seimitsu PS-14 style button. And like I said, just that's kind of due to the differences in resistance and how light a touch it requires to activate them, or how heavy a touch. And in this case, with these Kuros, very similarly to like a Sanwa OBSF button, they require really light touches to activate, and don't really offer much resistance at all. And yeah, that's not a bad thing at all, if it's similar to Sanwa OBSF, right? I mean, some people might prefer Seimitsu buttons. I tend to myself, but I really like Sanwa OBSF buttons as well, and these Kuros, I think they're pretty fantastic overall. If you like really light buttons which don't require basically any force to activate, then you'll absolutely love these. And I guess kind of in closing here, one more thing I will mention, just in terms of comparing both of these Hori Real Arcade Pro sticks, the VXSE for the 360 and the Pro 4 for the PS3, PS4, PC and Mac, actually all those things you can use it on, is that, like I said earlier, although the body design, the actual footprint, everything about the way they look, it's quite similar, right? Well, one thing is that the RAP VXSE, it feels a little bit more heavy, honestly. Maybe ever so slightly, but just quite a bit more of a substantial feel to it, in that when you're, you know, activating the buttons, pushing them down, and moving around the stick, it sounds a little bit better, the body of the control panel itself. And what I mean by that is basically just, you know, there's nothing wrong with this thing, but it feels a little bit lighter and a little bit more so hollow. You can kind of hear like a very slight, almost metallic echo at times. Like when there's no music in game running, you can hear it a little bit more. It's not a problem at all. They feel great, like I said, but I guess one thing to note, it has a little bit more of a hollow sound to it. Not an issue, and even with the stick, maybe you can hear that a little bit. I'm not sure if you can. And I don't know, maybe that is just due to the fact that kind of the panel on the back, which you detach to get the cable out for the USB, it's larger, as you can see on this one. Spans like all the way across, I'd say a good 75% of the panel itself. Whereas this one, it's down here, it's only about half of it, so it's much smaller, you know. So just one little thing to note. So yeah, in conclusion, the Hori Real Arcade Pro 4 for the PS3, PS4, PC, and Mac. It's a really high quality product that I totally recommend, and also a real interesting, you know, curiosity type of thing if you're big into the arcade scene and have always enjoyed using Sanwa and Seimitsu parts, and maybe you're interested in trying out the new Hori Hayabusa stick and Kuro buttons that are in use on all of the Taito Vuelix arcade cabinets in Japan these days. A really cool thing. And you get those exact same components on this stick. And even the panel kind of looks like a kind of a shrunk down version of a Vuelix CP that you'd find in a Japanese game center on an arcade cabinet there. Like I said, I really enjoy the Hayabusa stick. For me, it's quite similar to a Sanwa JLF stick, which is a great thing. And the Kuro buttons, I really enjoy them as well, and I find them to be really quite similar to the Sanwa OBSF buttons. So if you like Sanwa stuff, you'll really enjoy the new Hori arcade parts. And even if you like Seimitsu stuff, I think you'll enjoy it as well. I've really been enjoying using the Hayabusa stick with all the shmups that I play in MAME, And yeah, it works fantastically for that. Like I said, Seimitsu is my favorite, but this is really awesome as well. And I can't recommend the stick highly enough, really. You can pick this thing up at your local electronics retail stores, probably if you have a Fry's near you or a Best Buy. And this thing's gonna run you about $150 or so. So maybe some people might think it's a little bit of a steep price. I really don't. It's a great control panel, really high quality build, actual Japanese arcade parts in there. Just like this one, you know, this one Seimitsu, of course, this one Hori parts. So yep, there it is. That's my review on it. And yeah, if what I've said is something that you find interesting in terms of the components here, maybe you might want to check this thing out. You'll probably enjoy it if so. But yep, talk to you soon. Bye for now.